Today, ladies and gentlemen, I am giving you my DCI 2026 hot takes. Some of them are a little out there, some of them are more wish list stuff, some of them are crazy. It's like, what in the world are you thinking, Andrew? With that being said, let's get into the first one, which is all age and open class merge into one class. Now, as we know, world class is the thing, right? You have Blue Devils, Blue Coats, you have Boston Crusaders. Like these are all the big groups everyone wants to march, right? Like if you're going from high school and you say, "Yeah, I might try to do the DCI thing," they're gonna say, "So you're gonna try it for Blue Devils? Are you gonna try it for Blue Coats?" Like it's usually the big names. However, what we've seen the last couple of years is open class has been struggling. Now, not to say that it's gonna die tomorrow. I don't think that. However, I do think that overall the open class circuit, it needs something to keep it afloat. And with all age doing well, because all age, they only do the weekends, they do more regional stuff than anything. Sometimes they go to Indianapolis, some don't. And I think with all age and open class merging, here's my idea. What you would have is open class basically allows anyone as young as 15 to march. But let's say if you were never able to do DCI or you were never able to march world class, what this would do is make it to where anything more local, like the Memphis Blues, Music City, something like Eclipse, Impulse, Sunrisers, something like the 7th Regiment, like basically what this would do is it would make the activity more accessible, and it would also help out these open class groups retain membership and also bring in the expertise where, yes, those that are trying to get in the world class groups, you wouldn't affect world class, but those that are trying to get their foot into DCI, or someone who hadn't been able to do DCI, but then they're 25 or 26, now they have another option to do open class along with all age. And what this would also do is, let's say these open class groups that are in the south southeast region, but all ages more northeast, this would make one huge class. And I think overall this is more an idea slash a hot take, but I think this is going to happen hopefully soon. Next one, DCI and WGI mini world class groups. Now, this is where I think DCI needs to pivot, because DCI as a whole just is not doing well financially. I think I saw somewhere where to march the Boston Crusaders this year is $7,000. That is absolutely diabolical to be paying that much money. Like, granted, Boston Crusaders just won the world championship last year. The Blue Coats are going to California. That's expected. Blue Devils, Santa Clara, they're in California. Those are groups that I kind of expect, because California has. What they would do is DCI could have their, fall terms of like, hey, here's our normal activity. But what DCI then would do is DCI and WGI form a partnership where some of these groups, like Atlanta Quest, they would then, basically be like the split of Spirit of Atlanta. So let's say if you wanted to march Spirit of Atlanta, but you couldn't do it during the fall or you didn't have enough money, you can go march Atlanta Quest and do like a wins kind of thing, have a mini drum corps thing there during the winter, and be like, well, I did DCI, but it was indoor, whatever. This is kind of a weird one because, I think this would make it more accessible, but this is kind of a far fetched one because I really don't know the logistics behind this one. Next, SCV wins DCI 2026. I have heard a bunch of rumors and a bunch of trickling down the tea leaves. This is all rumors. We don't even know the show yet, but I have a hot take. I think SCV wins this year. Think about the trajectory of SCV, right? So in 2019, I believe they made, oh gosh, I think they made fourth or third. So they were in top three territory. And then they don't compete in 2022. No, they compete in 2022. I think they got like seventh or sixth. So they were in that fighting range trying to get in. 2023, they take a break. Everyone thinks SCV is falling apart. Everyone thinks that SCV is not going to do anything. Then they come back in 2024, no problems at all. They get sixth, they do well. And then last year, they get third. With the trajectory that SCV is on, and with the way the brass is going, percussion winning the award in 2024 are going to be their only competition. Because they got fourth last year, it sorry, my mic died on me. And so what I was saying is there's going to be times where SCV and Blue Coats, they are going to be competing a lot. And so with that, it's going to make it to where you're going to see a lot of competition. And I think SCV is going to take it home with the gold. Next one. Memphis Blues cracks top 25. Now, this is more of a favoritism kind of thing because Memphis Blues, they started in 2023. They've had a lot of regional people in the Southeast region, especially Mississippi, Arkansas. They have a lot of staff helping them out. And now Memphis Blues is starting to do, I think they're doing their indie tour this year where they're doing a lot of Tennessee shows. They're doing, I think, Birmingham this year as well, Muscle Shoals. And then they're going to Indy. Hear me out. With the momentum that Memphis Blues is on, and with the Spartans now being world class, I think Memphis Blues will find a way to make top 25, meaning not only will they make prelims for the first time ever, they will make semifinals for the first time ever. So you'll see Memphis Blues twice in Indianapolis. Obviously, they're not making finals, but they will make semifinals. Crown falls to seventh. Now, this is a hot take because we know Matt Harloff, the brass guy, he's taken a step back from what he was doing at Avon. I think he even retired. And now he's going into more of a consulting role. And I'm really curious to see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am dead wrong. Carolina Crown gets top three. They put on a really good show. But with the trajectory Carolina Crown is on, and with some of the other hot takes that I have in this video, with the way things would shake out, I could see a future where a couple of groups could overjump Crown, and Crown goes to seventh just because the other six groups ahead of them have some more momentum, including one that I'm going to mention later on. But color guard is fine. Percussion's been better, but they still need some work. It's just the brass section that I kind of worry about because the blue coats have gotten really good. Boston's insanely good. BD's there, but they're not all the way there. SCV is going to be fighting for that brass award this year. I think I'm going to do another hot take. I'm going to sneak this one in. I think SCV is going to win brass, and that is going to be one of the things that helps SCV get to the end other than percussion. I think percussion and brass general effect is going to be what puts SCV up there. But Crown, I'm curious to see where things shake up. But yeah, Crown in seventh. This is one that's going to make a lot of Crown fans mad. BD, CV, and Mandarins relocate to Mississippi. Now this is more of a favoritism thing by far. It's a really outlandish one, but hear me out. Okay. Mandarins took a year off this year, so they're not even competing for 2026, which also leads into another group that I'm going to mention later on. Hear me out. California is one of the most expensive places to live in the United States, along with New York and a couple of other places. However, Blue Devils, if you don't know, when they do the DCI Hattiesburg show, they rehearse at Southern Miss. That's where the show is. And they've been there almost every year for at least the last 10 years, I would say. There might have been like one show that the Blue Devils have missed, but they have been at DCI Hattiesburg almost every single year, right? So they've been there. Now, if you're looking at the Mandarins and SCV, one of the things you got to ask yourself is it really worth staying in California, right? And granted, I know they've been there for so long, I know, but hear me out. The Mandarins need to find a way. Whoa, sorry. The Mandarins need to find a way to bring money in, and one of the things they might do is relocate. Now, if you move to a place like Mississippi, hear me out. Mississippi is one of the top three cheapest places to live in the U.S., right? I live in Mississippi. I'm going to put that out there. By the way, Birmingham, come see me. Um, think about it. Mandarins, if they move to Mississippi, you could you could save so much money being down here, right? SCV. I know they go to Idaho for their. Sorry, my mic keeps cutting out. What I was saying is, I know that the Blue Devils, SCV, the Blue Devils have been down here every year. Think about it. The Blue Devils, if they move from California to Mississippi, it makes a lot of sense. And also, those who have not been to the Hattiesburg show, there have been humongous, and I mean humongous crowds. Okay, so think about it. If one of these groups comes and makes their home base in Mississippi, you would have so many kids trying out. You'd have so many kids trying to make it, and it would be amazing. So, totally not biased. Now, DCI moves to regionalized comps plus Indianapolis. Now, this is kind of one that a lot of people have been talking about. It's one where I think a lot of people in the DCI circle, they need to ask themselves a question, which is how do we make DCI more sustainable? Because we know one of the things that's hindering DCI is travel cost. My mic keeps cutting. I don't know what's happening. But anyways, what I was saying, think of it like this. You have the Blue Devils, you have Santa Clara, you have the Mandarins, you have Seattle Cascades, you have the Blue Knights, you have the Academy, all Seattle and all these other groups over there. You have all these California groups. They would be in the West. There would be a lot of those competitions there. They could change the dates, if you will. But then if they change the dates, then it allows the kids to rehearse more, make the shows better, clean them up a little bit. Then they would go to Indy, right? Or like the Southeast, you would have, I believe, who do we have now? We have Crossman, you have Genesis, you have Spirit of Atlanta, Music City, Carolina Crown. I believe with the Southeast region, they would probably need to bring one or two more groups into the fold in order to make it to where those competitions have more meat on the bone. Kind of like if they had the Blue Stars, which I know they're in. I know they're in Iowa, right? Sorry, what am I saying? Anyways, hear me out. Like the Blue Stars, or basically any of these groups where if you make it more regionalized, you can space out when the shows are. That way you're not having to do it in August. Or what you could do is make it to where, in order to save cost, have all of the regional shows happen on that same weekend. Then everyone go to Indy, you save a bunch of money, tuition goes down, end of story. Now, you could also be like Boston, where one year they go to California, do all those shows. This year, Boston's going to be at a lot of the Southeast shows. That could be another thing that DCI could factor in is if there's a world class groups that wants to make a region their home base, like the Blue Coats. The Blue Coats will be in California most of this year. They do something like that, you're going to get a lot of membership interested in traveling and doing a lot of these things. So I could definitely see this one happening. Blue Knights reach top 10. Now, this is something I've heard a lot of people rumoring about, mostly Blue Knights fans. But with the way the show was last year, I could see them absolutely making top 10 just because of the momentum I've been hearing. The brass has gotten a whole lot better. Design team is really good. The show last year had a little more of like, okay, this is kind of strange. I don't know what's going on here. Color guard was actually really good. Percussion was sneaky good last year. But the thing I really liked was the brass. That brass section was loud, it was in your face, and it was like, wow, this is the Blue Knights. Like, if they keep this momentum going, I could see them overtaking like the Colts. I could see them potentially taking the Troopers because the Troopers are doing something new this year. We don't quite know. But I think either way, the Blue Knights making top 10 would not shock me at all. I could see this being quite realistic to me. with this. Number 9. The Blue Stars reach top 5. By far, I would say the most improved drum corps in world class is Blue Stars. I have seen so many brass clips the last 2 years. When I say the brass section's easily top 3, some of you are going to get mad. Blue Coats have had the one of the best brass sections recently. Boston has been really good recently. I say you got to bring in Blue Stars. Other than SCV, I think this year SCV gets in there and the Blue Stars are going to be top 5. I think the fourth one is probably going to wind up being either Phantom or BD, but hear me out, okay? Blue Stars, color guard's been good. Percussion's been sneaky good. They haven't been insane, but if that percussion improves like they did last year, and if the brass just comes out swinging for the fences, I would not be surprised if you see the Blue Stars jump over Carolina Crown, if they jump over Phantom. Potentially, we might see a fight between the Blue Stars and Boston because I think Boston goes to 4th. But if you think of it like this, with the momentum the Blue Stars have, they could reach top 5 and get 5th, and it would be wonderful because I think I'm going to see Blue Stars in Hattiesburg and also in Birmingham, so I will be able to see them in person twice. So we will see if I'm actually right about this or not. Now, my last take, AI usage in a show, -1 point penalty. Now, I know some of you have been raging at me and saying, why are you using this AI garbage to do your little hot takes thing? I know, I was in a rush. Don't judge me. However, this is one of the most debated, talked about points in our history right now, and just human history, is the usage of AI. Because if you think about it like this, it's one thing to use AI as an idea, as like a silly little tool like I've made for this like hot takes thing. But hear me out. If you use AI for the design, for the reveal trailer, for parts of the show where it definitely feels like AI had a hand in it, it kind of makes me wonder, where's the human element in this? Where is the creativity in any of this? Now, I know I use AI here and there and all that, but my thing is, if any drum corps, if you use AI for any part of the show, you lose a point for penalty. You will get a -1 point penalty if you use AI. Because here's the thing. I know some people are going to think I'm being political, but hear me out. AI is a good tool. However, it should not replace the human element of humanity. And with that, that is why a lot of drum corps need to think about, if you're going to use AI, is it really worth it? Right? Because you're going to drive a lot of people away. And with all the data centers controversy that's going on, where data centers are being built to train AI, I really don't think it's worth it for these drum corps staff to really use AI in a way that takes away from the design that makes a drum corps show what it is. So, with that being said, do you agree with any of these hot takes? Do you hate any of these? Let me know down in the comment section down below. What are your— Oh my gosh. Make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure you check out this video up here where I did my way too early DCI predictions.